Manchester United goalkeeping situation has faced criticism ever since the arrival of André Onana, and despite the strength of André Onana, his poor handling abilities and decision making has actually hampered the growth of Manchester United during crucial moments. And guess what? Altay Bayındır, which is the second choice, has also not done enough to consider or to convince Ruben Amorim further. And Ruben Amorim actually has his eyes on a young Belgian talent called Senne Lammens from Royal Antwerp. So is Senne Lammens actually going to be the long-term solution to the goalkeeping situation of Manchester United? Let's find out. So guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about all the characteristics of Senne Lammens and how he's better than Bayındır and André Onana. And first we're going to be starting with his handling abilities, because you know that the handling abilities of Onana and Bayındır has been shocking in the last 2 years. These are keepers that are genuinely one of the worst goalkeepers in the Premier League combined, because both the first choice and the second choice is constantly hampering the growth of Manchester United. You could see yesterday the handling ability of André Onana against Grimsby, that it was absolutely abysmal, and we're going to talk into that in a bit, and you're going to be comparing the handling of André Onana and Senne Lammens when it comes to the context of Manchester United. So guys, we all know that the handling ability of André Onana has been really bad, and when you compare the handling ability of Senne Lammens to that of André Onana and Altay Bayındır, you're going to find out that Senne Lammens is actually way above André Onana and Altay Bayındır, because Onana is a goalkeeper that, based on stats, he actually recorded an error in every shot on target he actually faced last season, and Altay Bayındır also averaged same. But if you talk about Senne Lammens is actually the goalkeeper with one of the highest best handling abilities in the Belgian Pro League. That actually tells you that he's a goalkeeper that is going to be translated well in the Premier League. I know that the amount of shots faced in the Belgian Pro League and the kind of shot, the variations of shot is going to be different from the Premier League. The intensity is going to be different, but I can actually tell you that Senne Lammens is actually going to do well in the Premier League, because he's not in the best team in the Belgian Pro League. He's in Royal Antwerp. Royal Antwerp is not the best team in the Belgian League. We have the likes of André, which is actually not doing well. We have many teams in the Belgian Pro League that is actually better than Royal Antwerp, and this Senne Lammens is constantly proving everybody wrong that he's actually a very good goalkeeper. He's not actually a very big name yet, but he's a goalkeeper that actually is going to solve most of the problems of Manchester United. And we all know that handling abilities of the goalkeepers we have has been a problem for years, ever since David De Gea left Manchester United in 2023. And I feel that Senne Lammens is actually that player that is going to bring back that ability to handle the ball first time after a shot is being played. So guys, let's go into distribution and ball playing. We all know that the reason André Onana was bought for Manchester United was because of his ball playing ability. But ever since he has come to Manchester United, his ball playing abilities has been one of the worst in the Premier League. He has not actually been able to translate that ball playing ability he had in Inter Milan before he was bought by Manchester United. And if you look at the long ball accuracy of André Onana in Manchester United, you're going to find out that his long ball accuracy sits as 55%, while the long ball accuracy of Altay Bayındır sits at 52%. That actually tells you that they have underperformed when it comes to ball playing in Manchester United. They have not been able to translate this ball playing ability that was seen in them before Manchester United bought them. So in comparison to Senne Lammens, you're going to find out that he has a long ball accuracy of 60%. He's a player that can be able to pick out wide runners. He's a player that can be able to play short passes under pressure. He's a player that can be able to go long, directly to strikers, directly to wingers, directly to wide players, the fullbacks, when we actually want to build up from the back. So when it comes to the distribution and the ball playing of Senne Lammens, he's a player that has a very good distribution ability, and he has the ability to spot runners in behind with his long balls. But you are going to find out that he's just 23 years old, and most of the times he delays when he wants to play long balls, and that actually makes the strikers to actually pick him out. And this is something that he definitely has to work when it comes to the Premier League, because most of the times you are not going to be given the leverage, you're not going to be given the time to play those long balls. The strikers are going to press you, they're going to be on your neck. So this is something that actually needs refining, and this is a part of his ball playing ability that he needs to improve. He needs to be more quicker when he wants to play those short passes, and he needs to be quicker when he wants to find runners in behind. So guys, let's talk about the sweeper actions and off the line actions of Senne Lammens. When you actually talk about sweeping actions and off the line action, you're going to find out that André and Altay Bayındır are way behind goalkeepers in the top 5 league. These are genuinely one of the worst goalkeepers when it comes to sweeping, because Onana was doing this in Inter Milan. He was sweeping excellently. He had a very good defensive line protecting him. Altay Bayındır was doing so in Fenerbahce. But coming to Manchester United, this translation issue, this issue of players always performing well in their team and coming to Manchester United and failing to translate has actually been one of the problems of Manchester United in the past years. And David De Gea, even though he was not the best sweeper goalkeeper, he was not the best modern goalkeeper, but he was actually best at doing the little things at the little times. He was good for Manchester United during crucial stages. And when you talk about the sweeping actions of Senne Lammens, you're going to find out that he has 1.1 successful sweeper actions per 90 minutes. And when you compare that to the likes of Altay Bayındır ranks below 0.6 sweeper actions per 90 minutes. That tells you that these are goalkeepers that are genuinely worse, very, very bad at their jobs. Onana is a player that was actually known for his sweeping abilities, but recently you're going to find out that either he's slow in rushing out or he's too fast to rush out, and this has actually hampered the growth of Manchester United. When you're comparing the sweeper successful actions of Senne Lammens with the likes of the top goalkeepers, that puts him on the table with the likes of Kobel in Dortmund and Diego Costa in Porto. So that actually tells you that Senne Lammens actually has a very good sweeper action ability. He's a player that can be able to sweep effectively. He's a player that can be able to read the game, to read counter attacks, to be out early, to prevent those one-on-one situations or those counter-attacking situations that can be able to put Manchester United in danger. So guys, let's actually talk about the high claim and the commanding the box of Senne Lammens. This is actually one of his strengths, one of his most absolutely wonderful characteristics that I like the most, because he has this ability to command the box. He's very vocal in the box. He has this ability to high claim the ball, because in the Premier League, area duels are actually very constant. You're going to be facing a lot of area duels in the Premier League, and one of the ways as a goalkeeper you can be able to prevent these area duels from occurring is by having this ability to be area dominant. You have to be very good in the air, just like David Raya in Arsenal. He's one of the best goalkeepers when it comes to high claims and commanding the box. He knows how to claim balls from the air a lot. And when you talk about the stats from last season, comparing the likes of Onana, Altay Bayındır and Lammens, you're going to find out that Onana has a high claim of 0.8 per 90 minutes, Altay Bayındır has a high claim of 0.7 per 90 minutes, and you're going to find out that Senne Lammens is actually very far superior than the two goalkeepers we have, because he records 1.3 high claim per 90 minutes. That actually tells you that he's a goalkeeper that can be able to high claim a lot. He's a goalkeeper that the defenders are going to trust a lot when it comes to dealing of crosses. You could see that the high claim of Onana was actually what caused the second goal against Grimsby Town yesterday for Manchester United after we exited from the World Cup. So you're going to find out that Senne Lammens is going to help Manchester United when it comes to high claim and commanding the ball, because as a goalkeeper, especially during corner kicks, especially during now in football, modern football, whereby many teams invent many patterns of playing corner kicks whereby they develop the habit of pushing goalkeepers into their own goal post and making it easier for the set piece taker to time inside the post. Those kind of situations, Manchester United don't need to be actually afraid again, because having a goalkeeper like Senne Lammens is going to results from those threats. He's a goalkeeper that can be able to effectively high claim balls and give Manchester United a lot of stress when it comes to set piece situations. So guys, let's actually talk about the leadership quality of Senne Lammens. In as much as goalkeepers need to have some certain characteristics to succeed in the Premier League, you also need to have a very good, wonderful leadership quality, and you're going to find out that Senne Lammens has this wonderful leadership quality. He's a player that can be able to lead his line. He's a player that can be able to position his defensive unit intelligently on the pitch. He's a player that actually has showed a lot of constant developing leadership traits over the years in his career. He's just 23 years old. He has captained the Royal Antwerp youth side when he was in the youth team. You're going to find out that he's a player that can be able to be one of the best keepers in the Manchester United shirt. Just like when David De Gea to Manchester United, he was still a young goalkeeper. He needed time to develop. All he is, he had to develop a lot of leadership qualities, a lot of leadership skill. He captain Manchester United all over the years. You're going to find out that Lammens is a player that is actually going to replicate what David De Gea has replicated in Manchester United in terms of leadership. I know that he's going to develop. I know that he's going to be able to, construct his defensive units, organize his defensive units, positions his defensive units well, that is going to help Manchester United during any kind of toxic situations. So guys, let's actually talk about the long-term vision and the long-term value of Senne Lammens in Manchester United, and also some of his weakness. When you're talking about his long-term value, you're going to find out that he's better than André, Onana and Altay Bayındır when it comes to handling, when it comes to aerial dominance, when it comes to strong aerial ability, when it comes to decision making. He's actually better than André, Onana and Altay Bayındır in every single characteristics and in every single quality. He's also a very good sweeper than Onana Bayındır. He's very vocal, he's very commanding in his box. And one of his weaknesses, you're going to find out that he's a goalkeeper that actually, he's just 23 years old and he has a lot to learn. Most of the times his decision making when sweeping, when coming out, is actually bad. Most of the times his passes under pressure are not that refined. Most of the times he takes a lot of time on the ball, which causes maybe the player that is going to be pressing to actually catch him out and maybe score some kind of goals. Most of the times his handling also is not really perfect, though he's the player that actually catches the ball at a first glance or at a first shot, but he's a player that needs to develop his handling. He's a player that Ruben Amorim feels that as he continues to play in the Premier League, as he continues to develop in the Premier League, he's going to actually be one of the best goalkeepers in Manchester United history. So guys, even though Senne Lammens is not the household name yet, he's actually the goalkeeper that suits perfectly into the long-term vision of Ruben Amorim in Manchester United. Area dominance, good decision making, he's very vocal, he has this good ability to command his defensive unit, he has a very good leadership skill. This is exactly the kind of player that Manchester United need, that is going to help us in the goalkeeping position in the future. So I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Tactical Trafford. Also making a lot of videos about Manchester United this summer. See you guys in my next video. Ciao.